I get that. He wants to play in a rock band, but he's the guy with the saxophone playing the jazz solo.
That's how it works. Again, you're the mercenary. I have a contract. I only go by these parameters. Anything outside, it's not his problem.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now we go in straight into the draft. Onic PH going to be on blue side. RRQ HOSHI on the red side. I'm seeing the Yeeves. I'm seeing the Loyes. This looks pretty standard from both sides.
Uh-oh, both teams looking like they want to let go of the Granger. They want to coin flip it out. And Onic PH on the play, they might get their hands on it.
Yeah, I hope we do see Granger get open here because we need to see what a draft will look like with Granger open. Is he still first pickable? Is he even still okay for the first phase? And we will have our questions answered.
Do it, Dwayne. Do it.
That's actually so funny because Kezcute is like, I don't know why people are banning out specifically the Jushi. It's like everybody's like, oh yeah, Jushi's all the fuss now.
A change of heart.
Exactly. I don't. Hopefully, I mean, assuming that they win. Make it through. We'll get an interview and we'll see what happens. But Eddie come through, and I'm surprised. Joy now
They're
taking the helm.
Baiting out the Suyo and Granger. They'll allow it. So that means Onic PH gets away with the Moskov.
Possibly.
If I'm RRQ, pick the Moskov instead of the Granger. I mean, there's still so many questions around it.
Moskov Suyo.
Yeah.
No, we need a litmus test. I want to see how bad Granger is, how much he has fallen from grace.
The Kingdom can't afford it, dude. Not
They
here.
could. I think they possibly
Whoa,
could.
not even.
Ooh. Oh,
They're
that's
really
interesting.
they're just giving up on Granger.
Kezcute doesn't like playing to anybody's rules, man. No.
No, sir. No, sir. We're smarter than that. They're going to go with the Phoveus and as well as the Hayabusa. I think this is probably the safest bet overall. I mean, for all intents and purposes, even if Kirk is like, okay, we're not going to give you a winning lane, he still has the Edith to fall back to. If you want a winning lane, here, give him the CC, and then pray for the best.
I want Moskov here. Get the Moskov, get the CC.
Just do it.
But then there's going to be so many dashes into the Phoveus, man. There's going to be so many dashes.
That's what the CC's for. You play man-to-man.
I feel like he's going to go into Edith rather than CC. Oh, you know what? Never mind.
Hilda's open.
Approach. Okay, so the Hilda also undefeated for Onic Philippines.
Oh, wow.
4-0 in the hands of Kirk.
Joy's still open too.
Banned out, first phase.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Moskov, Granger, still open.
I don't think they're touching it. Like, gold lane is not getting touched at all.
Yeah.
And I'm more surprised that Onic PH is actually going to go for like a blind Valentina. Tigreal gets locked in for the side of RRQ, mainly to deal with the Joy, as expected.
Not so blind anymore.
Not so blind, but even so, I feel like the Valentina was an interesting call by Onic PH.
I feel like the Valentina, so they want to play a little bit close range and dive. I don't think they expected a Tigreal would come in right away unless they know RRQ HOSHI that well. I felt like this was just a call for Super Friends. Like, dude, just go ahead and pick your comfort. What do you want? Okay, I'll pick the Valentina.
Because either way, looking at the first two picks, RRQ HOSHI needed a solid CC hero in Rome.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't coming here in Red 3, it was going to come 4 or 5.
It was definitely going to get banned, yeah.
So they were thinking ahead with picking up the
Yeah.
Valentina.
I'm with Leo on this one. I agree with that.
So with that said, another thing I think Onic PH are doing, Coach Hayes, Coach Tony, they're allowing for Kelra to just say, you know what, relax. You're going to win the lane. Regardless, mechanics, instincts-wise, we think you're better than Toy. And I'm going to agree with that. So just let it be. Whatever he gets on the trade back, both teams seem to let the Granger and Moskov through.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a bit of a coin toss, right? Whoever picks their gold lane first, they're gonna get counterpicked regardless, right? And it sucks because red side will get that very final pick at the end. If our theories are correct, that means gold lane is gonna get very picked for last for RRQ. The next two bans here on a PH, focusing down on mid laners.
Interesting. Taking away the Faramis. Could have let it through, but just respecting again. They want... they're whittling down Riz's options to the likes of Vexana, Farsa, Aurora. And all of them have great ultimates that Valentina can steal. I think this is them manipulating that. So...
We'll see what it's going to be, but the Farmus is kind of interesting because that just means that they also want the possibility of having blue in the EXP. Unless Vexana, oh, never mind, Vexana gets locked in, maybe a little less now.
It's more of the, we don't want to get our dive punished so hard, so you'd rather ban the Faramis. Now, Onic PH still playing with the gold lane gambit. Again, it's clear that they don't want to make the first move, but they're forced to. All right, there's the Irithel, fresh in the hands of Kelra, doesn't change much, and I'd reckon a Rome Hylos. More likely, it's a Rome Hylos.
Yeah.
It does feel like a Rome high loss. All right, so if
I've been waiting.
Carry.
too long.
Oh.
Great read.
Okay.
I like this.
There's a lot of targets.
There is a lot of targets. Are two valuable ults that at least Valentina can steal overall, but I think that RRQ, they don't mind. Dive us. We're totally fine with it. We're going to chunk out your frontliners and then pray that Toy has enough that we can peel King Kong away from him.
Might be a tough game for King Kong looking at that Tigreal. I mean, even in recent memory, when we've seen Joy go up against a Tig, it never ended well for a Joy. But I think the pressure would now fall into the hands of Brusco and for Super Friends to maximize what crowd control they can get, what ability the Valentina can get, so that they can help King Kong entry as the Joy.
I'm praying that Rins is going to be that rock that RRQ needs, especially if they want to get to this next stage. It's a limited best of 3. Leo, Remar, take it away as we head on into game number 1.
Not just the meta has shaken up, but as well the priorities of the teams in play are also switching it up. The best of 3 begins now. The first game in a contest. Who moves forth through the brackets? Onic Philippines facing off against RRQ HOSHI.
I've seen Irithel now for all games so far for the playoffs. I think it's safe to say that is the effect of the recent patch.
Yep, Irithel just skyrocketed, mainly because I think she's good in lane. Her ramp up is solid as well, and looking at what's going on, you can choose between Purify or Sprint and not get punished hard when you overcommit.
Yeah, I think one of the good things that Onic PH has is that with the 2 Purifies there, their really best target that they can go for the implosion would be, of course, to disrupt Kirk, but of course, really get King Kong. But having the Purify and the Valentina, it feels like Super Friends might just have something in the bag to help disrupt the Tigreal. My eye keeps going into the whole Tigreal-Joy relationship that it doesn't look good for Onic.
All right, catching one, Sutujin, put down a half health. Big rotations here. Onic just holding their ground here.
Yeah, okay. Part of it feels like maybe they've learned from the TLID matchup that they had, but here comes Onic. They're going to be going into the purple buff. They see Edok right away, electrifying beats, and they force the flicker out of the Tigreal early
Call
on.
it a TKO, a technical knockout, sending Edok home, costing him his flicker as well. So Onic PH getting that win in the Cold War in the lower quarter of the map. Upper quarter is where the turtle will spawn, though, as Kirk checks in on Sutsujin. Mind you, we keep thinking about this whole... Oh, wait, they catch him!
Oh, Kirk, he's going to get knocked back, stunned. The Revitalize is going to keep RRQ HOSHI a little bit healthy. Kirk still alive, walks into the shrub, gets a bit of shield, but they're really controlling the rotations of Sutsujin right now.
And they're still going. I was about to say, it's not just King Kong who's in trouble. Even Sutsujin has to think of where Kirk is. They catch Edok.
And Edok trying so hard to buy time, but he gets first blooded. Kirk goes down. Kirk got a kill, but Onic PH are going to be able to walk away with a turtle.
Oh dear God, Dyren behind enemy lines, but the rest of Onic PH a step ahead already. King Kong finding refuge in his purple buff, a quick clear while Brusco keeps tabs on Sutsujin. I'm loving so far how Onic PH have really just leveled up their awareness, their quick turns, because that was one of their main weaknesses when they faced off against TLID just a couple days ago.
And now Dyren sees King Kong electrifying beats. He commits the flicker to get away. One resource out of the Phoveus. Now Onic PH will go back to controlling their side of the river as they've kept good tabs on Sutsujin all throughout the game so far. But Sutsujin is going to try to level things out now. Glorious Pathway committed. Shadow in, Shadow out. He does commit ultimate, but looks like he is still trapped. Edok gets a kill onto Brusco. Sutsujin eventually gets taken down by Keller. Here comes King Kong going after Rins.
Amazing trade, Brusco for Sutsujin. I'd reckon about 5 seconds before that fight even started, they knew that Brusco was gonna have to die, and they were putting themselves like chess pieces down around Sutsujin, and they were baiting out the quad shadow, and all right, we're gonna flank you, we're gonna stay where the shadows are remaining, and they saw how short the original was. A stolen EG!
Knocked up, Rins committing the flicker. Sutsujin does not have the ultimate, and Super Friends knows it. Confidence by the mid laner of Onic.
A monster mage holding his ground. A flank angle. The Glorious Pathway set in.
Edok does not have his ultimate and will not commit a flicker out, just dashes on out of there. So we're starting to see things ramp up quicker. It was slow, but they're trading all throughout with these little skirmishes.
For a 4-minute game, this Hylos is seemingly crossing the river, crossing over the jungle a little more often than I would like to be a man on a mission. He's been wanting to face off against RRQ at any turn. He's been wanting to show his old team, hey, look at me, I'm a world champion now. Onic PH now 500 gold up. Kirk right in the face of Dyren, forcing a few jumps. Checking in, 3-man presence from the Kingdom. Sutujin shadows through. Friends checks in. King Kong's taking his time.
Yeah. Slow approach here. Glorious Pathway already committed. E-Dog with a knockback. He will have the implosion ready if he decides to commit it. Electrifying beats. E-Dog with the implosion, but no follow-up is enough. A Super Prince was stopping Susujin in his tracks. Diren against Kirk and King Kong, and the Phovius will fall as well. Onic Philippines in control.
Man-to-man tag team action by the M6 World Champions. You see how they say, you take 2 because you can afford it, we'll take the rest. And so far it's working. Sutujin getting caught here, forced to use the quad shadow and a shadow kill.
And he goes out shadow. Onic PH still hovering around the turret in the mid. Brusco sees E-Dog there. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to risk keeping in front of his face right now. I'm way too low.
Oh, they're not done. E-Dog here with the Sacred Hammer, forcing Kirk to stay maybe a second too long, giving up that tier 1 down bottom. Toy has been working hard. The long-term trade, though, King Kong did leave a chubby wave up top to take care of that tier 1 on the other side of the map. Still, the turtle remains unharmed.
The wave was just a little chubs.
Oh, yeah, he's like 3 or 4. Oh, the Glorious Pathway!
Knock up, Kirk combo down by RRQ. Hoshi man advantage for RRQ. Actually, make that more than a man advantage as King Kong decided to back out and not contest. Brusco on the eyes of Dyren. He won't be able to get this horseman. He backs off. Onic PH lost that turtle.
Picture perfect shadow kill by the mercenary. He was in the middle of about 300 units right then and there. And he's like, you know what, I just need to, he gets it with the retribution. If it wasn't off a cooldown, he would have died. Mark my words, but he had it all figured out. This does close the gap, maybe shrinks it down to just 500. Onic PH losing their top lane tier 1. Kelra, though, so quick to respond, taking down that gold lane tier 1 just the same. And it looks like RRQ Hoshi understand that, you know what, we can't fight these skirmishes anymore. We have to take a man down first, make sure Kirk is out of the way, and that we know where Super Prince is. Another Glorious Pathway by Brusco.
They react. Electrifying beats already used by King Kong, so that's a good chunk of damage already gone. E-Dog still alive, committing the flicker already. He still has the implosion if he wants to use it. Free hit from Toy onto Kirk. In the mid, Super Prince gets taken down by Susujin. The Hayabusa finds him. And little by little, RRQ Hoshi have leveled.
Maybe too soon. Super Prince clicked his implosion, and the perfect response by RRQ Hoshi. With that said, RRQ again keeping this lead very, very close. Just barely 1,000 between them and Onic PH. But check out the damage leaderboard. Super Prince at about 23k. All right? The magic damage from this Valentina is about to hit a fever pitch. I reckon he's just this close, it's really small, this close to a lightning trunch. So all the extra damage all around should pay off, if not a book. If not a book, that'll keep Super Prince a little more extra hyperactive, keep him right at the front lines where he needs to be, and that should allow for RRQ Hoshi to maybe take a turn again, because for the past, what, 2-3 minutes, they've been the aggressors.
Concealed play by E-Dog. Who is he going to find here? Implosion on 2. It looks like Brusco is going to get taken out by the Kingdom, their former roamer. Kirk tried to go to the back line, but now he's going to get punished. Focused by 3, and he gets taken down as well. Onic PH are falling apart. RRQ Hoshi are surgical.
2 for free. No one taken down. RRQ Hoshi unpunished with their aggression. All this while, Kelra was escorting a wave in mid, trying to push that tier 1. Lord now gonna get taken down. Sutujin scores. Where's the clapback?
Super Prince has an implosion if he wants to commit it. Electrifying beats already used by King Kong, but it's a bit too risky to fight it, as it is 5 versus 3. On a PH are just, I think that looked like them trying to damage RRQ Hoshi as much as possible. So the next objective won't be able to have a good push once a Lord comes out. They even traded the tower in the mid, so this is them balancing it out with aggro, I guess.
So something tells me Onic PH might be looking at the map too much, might be thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, and they're lacking in the present. Because in the present, the truth is RRQ Hoshi has a Lord up top. The truth is RRQ Hoshi is up by like 200, 300 gold. and they're finding better engagements. Kirk going 1v1 against Sutsujin. So a little bit of good news for the Sonics is at least Kirk is still on his duty. Checking in with Sutsujin. Glorious Pathway sending back 4 members of RRQ.
Okay, I thought RRQ HOSHI would go for the aggressive clapback, but they're respecting the fact that King Kong is 2 levels above Sutsujin. Despite the past few minutes going really well for RRQ HOSHI, King Kong's just been able to farm up, man, but you can really tell his impact has diminished because of the presence of the Tigreal.
I think it's just a matter of time. King Kong, so that means he's, what, roughly 1,000, maybe less than ahead of Sutsujin. So where he's been lacking in fights, he's been farming up. So that's a little bit of a hope for Onic PH's, you know what, they're still on schedule. Bad news though, Onic PH just lost their top lane Holy Shield, so that's potentially a long lane push that RRQ HOSHI can threaten constantly. Luckily, that is where the Lord will spawn though, so not much of chicanery happening on the northern quarter of the map. About a minute until the next Lord spawns. All this while, Onic PH, so far Superfist has been finding the implosion, right?
Yeah.
Is there a better chance if maybe he can find Rins, set up that way, and then get an Eternal Guard first? Because that might be better.
Yeah, it looks like Super Prince also, alongside the ultimate that he's getting, he's busier than Rins. He's handling, helping set up, helping deal damage, while also surviving himself because he's clearly a main target for RRQ
He's
HOSHI.
taking 2 dudes.
Yeah, 2 dudes, multiple duties. It's like at this point, Super Prince needs some extra pay and a little bit of an extra chance, hope.
Prince!
But they found Prince yet again. Speak of the devil, E-Dog's trying to stay alive. He gets taken out. Kelra being able to free hit, but that's 2 down. On the side of Onic Philippines, a double kill for Kelra. Dyren able to find another, but Kelra survives and he's standing, able to deal damage, balancing things out somewhat, sending RRQ HOSHI back. It's just Kirk and Kelra.
Man, 3 for 2, 2 for 3. If you know, you know. It's not worth it. I think Onic PH still lost on that trade. RRQ HOSHI up on the digits here, approaching a 2,000 gold lead at 11
Kelra?
minutes. With the Lord coming up, down he goes. Oh!
There goes Kelra, and that's a big chunk of damage gone on the side of Onic PH. RRQ HOSHI will have more than just a man advantage in this Lord. We've seen Onic PH pull some crazy stuff out from scenarios like these, but trying something crazy might be a little too much as the RRQ HOSHI begin to burn down the Lord right in front of Onic PH. King Kong still trying to get his purple buff. He will not be able to get close enough for this Lord. Dyren holding the front line for RRQ HOSHI. Glorious Pathway E-Dog with an implosion. He's stopping while Toy is free hitting. Toying with Onic Philippines right now. King Kong able to hit back though.
2 for 1. RRQ HOSHI, though, afraid of the incoming Savage. Kelra just respawned, happy with a 2 for 2 and the big objective scored. Sutsujin, though, playing with our emotions, checking in if anybody will bite, instead keeping the safe shadow up. All right, so RRQ HOSHI, I'd reckon that could have been safer.
Yeah.
They could have definitely not lost out on a 2 for 2, so that gave him something to think about. But, whoa, King Kong!
1v1, Electrifying Beast already used, Shadow out, he has 2 more. And they decide to call it a stalemate for now.
All right, even King Kong has to think twice. He is now at the same level as Sutsujin, so they close that gap. And even farm-wise, it's King Kong now down 1,000 gold. So, all the more, Onic PH have to respect RRQ HOSHI. No more can they keep pushing these big brain plays. Like, they have to face RRQ HOSHI face to face. The truth is, fights matter.
Now Onic Philippines, the reality is, it looks bad for them. The Lord plus the push takes down the tower, knock-ups, but RRQ HOSHI, again, are disciplined. It seems like they watched a lot of that Liquid ID versus Onic PH match. This is the most disciplined we've seen RRQ HOSHI this entire Challenge Finals.
Ain't no jazz here, no ska, no impromptu measures. It's literally math rock. We know exactly what the measures are. We know what the counting is. And it looks like RRQ HOSHI is going to take turret after turret, lane after lane, playing for this next Lord in a minute. Onic PH, something tells me Brusco just needs to find the perfect Glorious Pathway and for once, use the Revitalize. He's always just going Glorious Pathway in, thinking twice about the Revitalize and just saying, all right, next one, I'm dead, dude. I'm dead, next one. If they can do that and fix the aforementioned situation with Super Friends, maybe there's a chance. Maybe they can close this 3,000 gold lead and then, you know, make the Kingdom think of what the next step is, because so far the Kingdom is looking like there's autopiling. It's just like they're remembering everything Kezcute said prior.
The discipline, the execution, excellent right now for RRQ HOSHI. Speaking of what Onic PH needs to do, they just picked up some tools with the Windtalker going to the hands of Kelra and the Bloodwings going for Super Friends. So third item locked in for the Valentina. Should give Super Friends a little bit more time during the fights and survivability. Because yeah, he's been just hunted down. It feels like the same thing also for their series up against Liquid. It was his kill constantly hunting Super Friends down. Now RRQ HOSHI, since the Valentina's right in front of their faces, they're taking turns on taking down Super Friends.
Yep. So now, look at this flank angle that Brusco has. Brush control. The more immediate brush going over the RRQ and the catch.
The knockup by Rince, not gonna fully connect. Another implosion, devastating knockback onto King Kong into Kirk. E-Dog! You can change the K into an L because he's an idol right now for RRQ HOSHI. Kirk and King Kong down, but other members of RRQ are low.
They're just too clumped up for Kelra to make a difference. They do send 3 back, but still the man advantage to RRQ HOSHI. They're just taking their time, their sweet time, because they are currently unpunished with everything they're doing. They're clumped up, yes, but Super Prince doesn't have a stolen EG. King Kong can't come in. He's going to get stunned, going to get implosion before he can start dancing and hearing the music. Onic PH, they're going to have to face another Lord, the 3rd in a row.
E-Dog has made this Tigreal game look so easy. He wasn't unkillable. He's died 4 times, but every implosion so far has counted and mattered.
And that's making Rinz's life, in turn, all the more a cakewalk. Rinz, 0, 0, and 11. I'll tell you now, I played a Vexana the other day, and I was always afraid for my life.
Oh, yeah?
I was even rocking a Purify. You were in the game, I think.
Oh, right,
so
yeah.
he was rocking a Flicker here, and not once has he been touched. Not once has he died even. So that means even if Onic just spend everything, all right? Onic PH has the perfect Lord's Pathway. There's always the threat of Rinz still just coming up, following through with the final touch.
And could this be the final push for this game? There's still 2 towers, and Onic PH have the items to fight back and clap back. Super Prince gets the Eternal Guardian again, but the knockups and the crowd control getting dished out. Onic PH just wanted vision, but Kirk gets punished. It was a Rinse again. It looked too easy for the Vexana and too difficult for the Hilda, as RRQ HOSHI have eyes on game. Shadow kill, but they say not just yet. Discipline is what we need to end this a little later on.
Onic PH staying alive, sacrificing Kirk, spending a good amount of battle spells and ults to keep RRQ HOSHI at bay. All 5 members still on the map, hell-bent on finishing the game.
Kelra jumped down really low, 40%. Brusco gets bursted down. There's way too much damage on the side of RRQ HOSHI. The front of Onic just keeps crumbling at the sight of the Kingdom.
To be fair, the front of Onic is just one dude. Kirk isn't even really a frontliner. Kirk wants to find that flank. Kirk wants to find Sutsujin, wants to find Rinz, maybe compromise Toy's positioning. That's his job. So, given that for Onic, it's a 1-2 step, not just in their front line, not just in their peel, but even in their setup with Super Friends, it's so easy for RRQ HOSHI to just make like a sledgehammer, like a blunt object, forcing their way into Onic PH's base. Just 1 inhibitor left, down bottom, and look at that. Not even the buff. They left nothing for King Kong.
What is 2 revitalizes against true damage and just raw burst coming out of RRQ HOSHI? Just realized that too. It's the double revitalize strat for Onic PH, but the healing is quite nothing. It's just buying them what? Maybe half a second of life more?
It's like having really good cardio in MMA. Like you're gonna lose, but just for a long time.
Yeah, you can roll for a long time, but you're still gonna get pounded.
That's right. The tap out is inevitable. Unless RRQ slip up, unless RRQ give him the arm, give him the leg, and Onic PH go for the Kimura, go for the leg lock. How do they do that? I'd say off of pickoff. If they find Sutsujin randomly roaming, if they find Rinz shut him down, I mean, it's not going to be equal to much gold, but it is much less magic damage, much less CC that they're dealing with. And not to mention Toy. Man, Toy, that's 6 kills. It's a lot of gold sitting there.
A lot of gold because they have a lot of security. Again, it's so easy for the backline of RRQ HOSHI. It's simpler what they want to do. Pop Implosion, you're good, and Edox sees Kirk again. He's holding on to the Implosion. It's the big ticket ultimate we're looking for. Curse Blast and the stun as well. The Terrify lands, concealed by RRQ HOSHI just to push Onic PH back. And now Onic PH will get pushed back even more because they have minion waves to handle.
For the Kingdom, this is what a Jason Statham of the Rock movie. It's action, it's thriller. For Onic PH, it's a horror movie. As soon as you see that concealed play, like, oh, they're coming at us. Lord, now that a fifth of his health.
RRQ HOSHI are going to try and get this Lord without a problem, and that is going to be an easy take. Retribution landed, but that's going to fall into the hands of Prince. Keldra surviving in the back because it was a dive by Susan, and he backs off. Dyron goes down. Super Prince gets caught, and it's just King Kong and Keldra who can watch and try to defend as RRQ HOSHI are about to get match point.
I don't think the connection
Point
can
one.
take 4. The connection can't take 4. They need to clear waves and fend back the rest of the Kingdom.
Try as they may, there's just way too much to handle. King Kong falls. It's just the finals MVP, but he falls as well. RRQ made that look easy.
Seems to be something going on in the